Wow. Some fun time, right? This is what we promised. But of course, there's some serious stuff when you think about these answers. And when we think also about the equality, women and men. 5 years ago, when we founded Novatore, we agreed on one principle, that when speaking about women's empowerment, we must really rely on numbers and facts. Because the question, do we really have problems? Just look around, everything is fine. Just do it, keep calm and carry on. This is what I hear every day. And these are the arguments, I guess, all of us hear every day if we raise the question about if we have an equal society. So that is why we are especially great to Norstat, the leading Nordic research company, and in particular to its managing director, Linda Ezera, a strong and reliable partner of Novatore. Since 4 years, we have made a research every year, Novatore Gender Equality Barometer. And today we will have an interactive discussion, also together with you, where we'll challenge some of the data we have found in the latest barometer. Later on, in the evening, you can also check that in our Novatore website, novatore.eu. So may I welcome on the stage our good friends and partners, Ginta Salmane. She's the CEO of TV3 Group Latvia Novatore Impact Summit. And as we said, you can watch Novatore Impact Summit also online. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can choose the best seat. Kristine Jarve, managing partner of Deloitte Baltics, and also great friend of Novatore, and great women's leadership ideas ambassador. I do really suggest to follow her on LinkedIn. She posts great stories. And Uldis Cērps, CEO of Finance Latvia Association. And Uldis also joined, as well as the ladies, the jury of Novatore BIBA Award, what we will present later on. So, let's get to the serious stuff, even though I enjoyed the discussion with children as well. But let me just ask one question. What leadership means to you? Let's start with Kristine.
Oh, thank you. You can hear me, yes? Okay, good. For me, leadership is having an impact on people around you, helping others, ensuring that other people can thrive. That's the biggest part of leadership journey for me.
Impact.
Impact.
Ginta.
Yes, thank you. I can totally agree on that, because leadership is that what you can give to people, to your employee. That's additional value, how you can help.
Value.
Yeah.
Uldis.
I think in very simple terms, basically two things: getting most out of people and getting the best out of people.
So getting the best out of people. Okay, interesting perspectives. Thank you. So let's start the interactive discussion. And we will challenge some numbers, what we saw in our research. So let's start with the very basic, there's the principle one. Do we have a gender equality in Latvia? Simple question, yes or no. So open your Menti application, and we will see what the audience here thinks and how does that correlates with the general understanding of Latvian society. So do we have women's equality, gender equality? Men can do the same thing, or at least they have the rights, environment. 67. Wow, so we have approximately, 60, let's say we have less than half of the audience here who thinks that there is gender equality. So what's the number in Novatore Barometer? The number is 68. 68 of Latvian society thinks that there is gender equality. So it seems that here is more skeptic society gathered here, but actually it does correlate with the next observations. So please go to the next slide. And we have a number which is 61. This is what women say, that we have gender equality, and we have 76. This is what men say. So let's comment. Kristine.
I think the answers are clear. We do not have gender equality in Latvia, but there is a reason to look at this from two different parts. One is professional and one is home life. And I think also this survey clearly shows that there is a difference how we perceive. And I'm biased. I work for an international company. My clients are big Latvian companies, big international companies. And I see that in the workplace, there's more and more initiatives, real interest in changing things. And I would say that, yes, we're not at parity for sure, but the leadership is now consisting of both men and women, at least in the middle management. So I think on the business side, probably the situation is better than it is maybe in the practical things when we talk about how we split our tasks at home. And reality is that most women do more at home. And a lot of that is not noticed, a lot of that is not appreciated fully, it's not clear also for their partners how much actually effort it's taking. And there I believe that gender equality is suffering. And it's not only the fact that women do more at work, that also restricts their ability, more at home, it restricts their ability to do more at work.
Right.
So that's a challenge we need to address.
Yeah. Ginta, how you would comment these numbers?
Yeah, that's true what Kristine just said. And I think the most important question is if we are ready to speak about it, about this difference between women and men at home and why it is so. Because if we are not speaking about it, if we keep it inside, and if we are not doing anything, anything will change. And we will continue to do what we are doing. And that's actually not so good thing. We are on the same level forever. If you're speaking about organization side, then this view is more positive. And there are a lot of things what manager and board can do to increase this level more and more. There is HR transparency and so on. I will leave time for Uldis as well. But what I wanted to say that here we have to understand that at home it's very, very important that we are trying to change this, we by ourselves. About organization, yes, that's what we can do together as leaders.
This is a very interesting perspective, and we will return to this also also during our conversation later on. But Uldis, what's your how do you describe that there's such a big difference?
Well, first, it's clear the situation is not acceptable. I have 2 points. My first point is that if you drill down different industries in Latvia, you can see that some, for instance, like banking, has the least problems with gender diversity, while others clearly have more issues. And then you ask yourself, why is that? And I think it clearly shows that it's not only gender diversity is a good thing morally, but also it makes perfect business sense. And I think that's a very important realization. My second point is, why do you have this difference between men and women? And I think it reflects a very simple fact which becomes obvious when you drill down in the research, which I suggest looking on Novatore's website later today, which is that in fact, if you look at the answer to question, who are better fitted to lead, the same question asked to our children just a few minutes ago, then, of course, the majority thinks that there is no difference between men and women and both are equally fit to lead. But then there is a very significant share of men who think that men are better suited to lead. And I think that explains why men are more comfortable with the situation as it is. I think that's just a very simple reflection of that.
Okay, thank you. So let's get to the next question. The skin in the game. So have you experienced some discrimination because of your gender during the last 2 years? So yes, no, at this moment a bit equal, and as we heard already, discrimination or gender equality could be observed at home as well as in job, but also in a public space, getting services, etc., etc. And there are a lot of data about this, also good things, but you can find on Novatore website. Check the Novatore Barometer. But here we see that in this audience, it's a bit less than 50% who says that there has been some issues. In general, in Latvian society, it's 1/3, 36% who said, yes, we have experienced some disadvantages, and both men and women. But let's again, next slide, what women say and what the men say. 48% women says there has been some discrimination, some unfair attitude and actions versus 24 men. And I will go to the next question right away. What kind of discrimination you have experienced? Multiple choice. At home, job search, salary differences at the office. So let's see. So we see that at home, it's in the leading positions, followed by salary differences, at the office, job search. Ginta, how you would comment these numbers?
Actually, it's shocking if I can comment those numbers. Salary differences, definitely. We see salary differences between genders. I have experienced discrimination because of my gender during the last 2 years, and I know how it feels. But then again...
Can you share?
Sorry, I didn't understand, but okay.
Yeah, can you
probably
share?
I don't have so many time here to share it and explain everything. But I wanted to say that nowadays there is a lot of European Union directives and HR transparency policies, how we can measure these salaries by job titles and by what we are doing. So that's why the most important thing that we know about ourselves, how much we have to earn, how big have to be our salary, and just to ask it, to say it, to speak up.
Just ask.
Yeah.
Super, I'm writing this down. Okay. Kristine.
Yeah, I noticed that there is quite a lot of answers about office and people experiencing the discrimination at office. And at Deloitte, we have actually done quite a large survey globally of women of different positions, how they feel at work. And one thing which comes true is something we call microaggression. And some women might not even understand that they are being discriminated against, because it could be just as simple as some meetings being scheduled very early in the mornings or late in the evenings when you might need to go and pick up your kids or deliver the kids to school. Some project meetings happening just as a chat by the coffee machine between men. Some specific differences in how most interesting projects get assigned to one gender to another. And all of that, by definition, creates this inequality. And sometimes we just need to be vocal enough, clear enough, and also identify that this is a microaggression, that this is not something which should really be happening. And my biggest suggestion is raise that. I really think that we need to be vocal, we need to talk about situations which are not okay.
Well, I was more thinking about root causes, because if people perceive, as they genuinely do, that there are differences in pay, and this is, of course, utterly unfair, and that leads me to ask a question, you know, can more be done, including at the legislative level, to promote transparency, to make companies being more often, maybe to start with public sector, maybe to start with the government institutions? Because I think it's a very sad situation that the reality of life is that more transparency about pay will be pushed not by our society, which actually needs it, but by implementing EU directive, which needs to happen next year. I think it's paradoxical.
It is, and Novatore research data also shows that there are some good news regarding the office, public space, but actually the life at home is becoming worse. So the question is, can we regulate everything? No, we cannot. And I think that this is something that is frustrating when we look at these data. But let's get back to the business. And I would like to share two more figures, two more numbers, which are important in Novatore's DNA and how we talk about women empowerment. One number is 23. This is number of taken from top 500 business companies in Latvia. This is a number, how many companies have at least one woman at the board level. So question is it enough? Why we do not have more women? Maybe Ginta.
I represent here media industries.
Yeah.
So here, you know, in Latvia, in media industry, and actually in Baltics, and overall, there are a lot of CEOs and managers and in board women. So it's not such wars as in other industries. So, but I think it's a question about boards, about managers, teams, and about how this board can see leading of company. And the question is how a woman can introduce herself, how a woman can speak about herself and can show her this additional value what she can give to the company.
Is there something what can be done also on companies level or with some legislation? Uldi?
Yeah, well, to put things simply, out of Latvian labor force, which is roughly 900,000 people, 1/3 work in public sector, defined broadly, companies, municipalities, government agencies. And I think that 1/3 can clearly lead by more transparency, by more robust requirements on how you select people, how you promote people, how you follow up performance. So basically, I think there is more that could be done. We all know that there is more that could be done by the public sector.
Mm-hmm. And maybe I can then talk about private sector. I believe it's all about succession planning. It's about companies actually actively wanting to entertain the idea of both genders leading and then putting efforts to it. Because it's not going to come from nowhere. If we don't have women who are in the middle management, who are actively coached, who are supported, who are trained, who are actually supported by their councils, boards to become future leaders, it will not happen overnight. We have seen it in the countries where there's quotas introduced, and suddenly everyone is hectically looking for women who could fill those positions, and they're just non-existent because nobody has spent enough time helping women become future leaders. And another part is good role models, because I think when you see it, you believe it. Because there's a lot of comments which I hear that women maybe don't want to lead. But actually, it's more of a fact that if you haven't seen it happening, you don't have a reason to believe that anyone will support you in your transition to the leadership. So it needs to be both of those. And I really loved the kids who really didn't see the difference. So I think we need to educate at home as well to make sure that they retain this view that everyone can be the leader and they don't change it once they become teenagers and so on. So I think it's up to all us in this room. The next generation should really have no distinction between the genders.
And one more, last number. Let's put it here. Number 20. 20%. This is how much women earn less than men. Full-time job, Eurostat data released just last year. We know that figures might be different, many research, different methodologies, from 14%, 16%, 20%, but the message is clear, there is a difference. So the question is, if there's something we can do about that, why women are earning less? Uldis.
I think it's a fundamental reflection that there are still issues with governance in companies, because if companies had proper governance, they would probably, out of pure economic reasons, not because of high moral values, but because of pure economic reasons, would ensure that resources are used in the best possible way. Now, this is probably a good indication that resources are not allocated in the best possible way. So I would say broad initiatives to improve governance in companies, both private and public sector.
So governance in companies, better. Kristine?
Transparency, and that will come with this EU directive coming our way. I think many companies still have job agreements which say that your salary is confidential, you cannot share it with anyone else. Directive effectively takes it away. It allows you to speak about your salary. And then I would suggest do speak with your colleagues, try to understand, are you at the same level? And then ask questions to your employer. Why your salary is at a certain level, how are you comparing to other grades, and so on.
So don't be shy about money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's acknowledge about your job title. Like Kristine said, yes, just speak to your colleagues, speak with your co-workers and with other people from other companies and industries, and try to understand what is normal level and how it works like in different areas. And yeah, transparency in HR, European Union directives, everything shows what kind of level, in what kind of level you have to be. And you have to know about it.
So don't be shy about money talk.
Definitely.
And let me guide you to the very last Menti question. It's about how much money would be enough for you, monthly salary, to sustain a good quality of life to yourself and to your family. It seems that it's pretty confidential. But just for you, for reflection, and maybe at this case, this question can stay with you, and you can share this during the network session, just by asking the question also directly. What is the amount? What is the salary? What you would like to receive, what you would like to earn. And here we see different numbers: 5,000, 15,000, 8,000, 3,000, 2,500, 3,000. The average salary, what in Latvia people say, what would be the great salary, what they would like to receive is 2,300. So I don't know if this benchmark suits to everybody, but I think it's a good reference point to reflect upon. and to discuss with your colleague, and maybe it's a good reference point also for you to, in terms of thinking about your next career move, about next your salary raise. And in the end, I think one of the very important things is to know clearly what is my value in the job market. Do I know it? And can I really negotiate it? And what can I do practically to increase my value in the job market? This would be my calling to you within the framework of the summit. And my last question to you would be, what is your tip or trick, or what would be your call to the audience regarding the women's leadership and prosperity? One thing what we can do already tomorrow. Let's start with Ginta.
Ask and say, what do you want? First of all, try to understand what you really need, and they just speak about it.
So speaking up.
Think big. Think years in the future and prepare for that.
So ambitions, thinking big.
Yeah, I thought about it, and then I thought, okay, you know, what is needed to achieve most, and a very specific example. And then I thought, okay, it doesn't have to do with individual behavior, but it has to do something with company behavior. And if you have a possibility to affect it, please do. Go and check how your company organizes selection process. Is the selection process fair, neutral, whether it incorporates gender diversity, whether it's objective enough, and whether it is public. Are all new vacancies publicly advertised so that you can ensure that you get absolutely the best talent for those positions? Just check it. And if you see that there is a problem, please act.
Thank you. So I have a ready formula, so speak up. Speak about these things, be bold and ambitious, and do your homework. Check up at your office just right away. Thank you. Thank you very much.